Okay, recording Shtajio. So I think we're recording. Hey everyone, back for another episode of DR Shtajio's vlog. I'm Henry Thurlow,
Hey everyone, I'm Arthur Isom.
and this is yeah, DR Shtajio's anime industry vlog. So for those of you who might not know, yep, still coming at you via video chat here because we're still
Mhm.
doing the whole on lockdown thing. Any news before we get into the topic, Arthel? I know you were on a Hulu thing recently. Want to tell people about that?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So recently on Hulu, actually, I guess it's only for Hulu in the US. So it wasn't showing, it wasn't airing on Hulu in Japan, but on Hulu in the US, there's this show called Your Attention Please, and it's a pretty cool show. They highlight I think different um like minorities, or I guess mainly Black individuals from all over the world, and they just talk about things that they're doing. And so it was on that show, and I guess it's interesting because there's short, like it's like a short mini documentary. So each episode has like four short mini documentaries, kind of about four different people. And so it's like if you, yeah, just kind of tune in and you can kind of get a little simple insight. And it's cool because they went about it differently than um, other outlets that have been on recently. So that one I think kind of um, goes a little bit more into just like kind of personally how I kind of go about my day here in Japan. So check it out. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Very cool. We also worked on another episode of Pokemon Journeys, episode 47 this time. So that's two episodes in 1 month of Pokemon that we worked on. That's all the Pokemon work for now.
Yeah.
In the last few months, we did secondary key animation for one episode, key animation for two episodes, and secondary key animation for the recent movie. So that's all the Pokemon work for a while.
Yeah.
We
The
also
movie's
the
pretty cool though.
Yeah, it
Make
is.
sure you
It
guys
is.
make sure you guys go watch the movie. If you well, is it shown in theaters, or
In
I don't even know
Japan,
if
it
it's shown
is.
in this. Yeah, in
In
Japan it's
Japan, it
shown.
is. I think it is. I think it'll. I don't want to say exactly what the release date of it worldwide is, but I think that it is pretty linked up because they link it to the game and they give out a free Pokemon if you go to actually see it in theaters, like a download code to
Yeah,
get it. So I think like the world is fairly sunk up so that everyone playing the
yeah,
game can get the same Pokemon at about the same time.
yeah.
So
Well, that's interesting.
yeah, if it's not
Did you get
airing,
it? Did you get the Pokemon?
I got multiple
Uh,
Pokemon.
all right.
Because I treated a couple people I know to a ticket and was like,
uh,
okay, come. But then I was like, but by the way, that code, I'm gonna need that.
uh,
I'm gonna need my
that's fun.
Pokemon, my Pokemon
Yeah.
download.
Oh, so what? So it's different Pokemon then that you can download.
No, it's
Or,
the same one that's handed out, but it's like a super rare one that you can only get if you go to the movie. So,
uh,
I was missing a few from previous years, right? Like really rare
okay.
ones, but I
Yeah.
easily traded online for my, only
Oh,
in the
because you had that.
theater thing, right?
Because you had
Like,
this
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's interesting.
and then also we worked on, I forgot we worked on this. So it's been airing, I guess, on Hulu, but I don't even know what Hulu, like Hulu somewhere. It might be, this might also be like Hulu in the States, but like not in Japan yet. Anyway, Mamoru Oshii, the famed director of Ghost in the Shell and
Mm.
Innocence, Patlabor feature films, he is
Yeah.
back for a TV series. He's like the original creator, at least, and I guess like lead director of a
Yeah.
series called Vlad Love, um,
Mm-hmm.
which is like which by the way, after watching a couple episodes, I understand the title now. It's like a pun in Japanese, and Western fans aren't going to get it unless they understand Japanese. In katakana, it's Boradu Dub, right? So Vlad Love, but then they start up in like episode 1 or 2, they start up like a blood drive and they're saying blood love, and it's the same thing, Boradu Dub, right?
Yeah,
So
Blood Love
blood
and
love
Glad
and
Love.
Vlad love. So
Yeah.
like it's like a vampire story, and they also opened a blood drive. Anyway, it's a very, very, very weird comedy that feels like a '90s comedy, and I think that
I
was
got I have Mamoru Oshii's signature. on
Oh,
the original VHS of Ghost in the Shell. I got to get Mamoto Oshii's signature and Ogura-san's signature. Check that
that's
out. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
so yeah, check out that series too. We did a little work on it, a little bit, just a little bit, but still, that was cool. All right, so we've already ranted a while before even getting into the topic. So actually, this time also, just like last time, let's just answer a few questions. So we still had a couple questions that I noticed we didn't answer, and some people came back and were like, "Hey, you didn't answer mine." So okay, with the few that we'll answer now, this is pretty much, I think, every question that's basically been asked up until this point. Um, so the one question, I should have had this prepared, but here we go. Why do I not find it now? Why is it not here? It was right here in front of me. Hold on, I'll go to Instagram and get it. Okay, well the question is, what do we feel about gatekeeping, which I guess is a hot topic in the like anime Twitterverse or whatever right now. I'm gonna get the name of who posted that in a second, but yeah, gatekeeping, I guess, as it's defined, because we even had to ask because we weren't 100% sure. Here it is. What in the world? Why can I not? Okay, wait, here. Okay, yes. BLXCKJESVS. I'm gonna go with Black Jesus, but you got an X in there. Asked for talk about gatekeeping, and then we actually had to ask what exactly is gatekeeping. And I guess on Twitter someone recently posted something about, oh, you're not a real anime fan unless you watch all this rare stuff or whatever, and that's basically the description he gives. And yeah, the anime Twitterverse is a buzz about, is it right to, have standards for who is and isn't an anime fan, I guess. Like, oh, well, if you just watch Pokemon and some Dragon Ball Z episodes, you're not a real anime fan because, you had to watch this, and this. And then you got other layers where it's like, oh, well, if you even just watch the main stuff like Evangelion and Ghost in the Shell movies, then you're not a real fan because you got to know about the real underground stuff. The thing is, like, that exists anywhere for music and everything, right? Like, oh,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
only
of
listen to,
course.
you only listen to whatever, the Rolling Stones and Weezer. Well, those are mainstream. You don't know nothing.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
mean, okay. So, Arthel, what are your thoughts about gatekeeping? I think we probably feel the same way, and maybe it's good for some fans to hear how the creators feel about this. But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I feel that there is a large gate, and if you don't got the key, you don't get to come in the kingdom. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
I think,
but then you'd have to explain what exactly the key is.
yeah,
So,
what's the
what
key,
super
right? What's the key
rare
to
underground
anime?
stuff would people have to? What rare
Yeah,
memorabilia and collectibles
yeah,
would we
yeah.
have to
The
have?
only way that you could be an anime fan is, yeah, exactly. If you have a
I'll tell you what
specific
it is.
Pokemon.
No,
No,
no, no. You have to have the rare Pokemon that you went to the movie to
yeah,
see, and you have to have a
yeah,
VHS copy of Ghost in the Shell signed by Ogura-san and Mamoru
that's
Oshii.
right.
Yep, that's it.
That's
The
right.
two of
If
us,
you
we
don't got
pass.
this, then it don't even matter how many anime you've seen. If you don't have a signature by one of the top creators, like directors, on an original VHS tape of an anime, so that, all you people watching DVDs and Blu-rays of anime and streaming, that's not a real anime fan. Anime was originally on VHS. So
Actually,
if you
Arthel, if we wanted to be real dicks
you need a
about it,
film,
no, we
yeah,
what we could say is we could say, what you have to be an anime fan. You have to have your name in the credits of at least 10 different anime productions, or
yeah,
at least 10 episodes, right?
10,
Like
at least
like
10 episodes of something,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, at least
of
10
of
episodes.
anything, yeah,
If
yeah.
you're credited in an anime but only 3 times, nothing. I mean,
Then that's nothing,
I
yeah.
must be getting close to 100. I mean, you must be up in the dozens and everything for background artists and painting and right.
So
Like so,
I think like Yeah, if you're not credited in it, then you're not a true anime fan.
No,
That's the only
not
way
at
to get.
all.
That's the only way to actually call yourself a fan. Well, no, although I guess now that kind of says that you're a creator.
But
That's more,
obviously we're being sarcastic. But so the answer
yeah,
is, I mean, if disagree with me if you feel you want to, but I doubt you will.
yeah,
There is no such thing as gatekeeping. That's silly. It's ridiculous.
yeah, yeah,
It's supposed to be. I think anime has achieved, where it needs to go when it's considered the same as film, right? Which is like,
mm,
like it's just respectful. Like if you watch a 5-second clip of an anime, a guy opens the door
mm,
and says, "Hello, everyone." You don't know what this is, and it's
yeah,
assumed that no one knows what this is. It could range from anything from a little kids show like a Sesame Street to a horror movie to
mm,
adult films to a comedy to a drama to et cetera, right? Like you need to keep
mm,
watching because this
yeah,
art can be anything, just like film can be
mm,
anything. So if someone enjoys just silly comedies, that doesn't make them any less of it. Like there is no such, like,
mm,
that just means that that is what they enjoy. Anime has won when anime is accessible. It has a
yeah.
million different
Yeah, it's
shows and
accessible to everyone and viewed by like just by all different demographics. Like it's interesting because I'd like to hear some of the fans like you guys' opinions. So please write in the comments what you think about gatekeeping and and if you feel that it's a necessary thing, please comment that as well. But because I wonder, I mean, because if gatekeeping was a thing and you can only be like a true fan for watching something, like you're limiting so much, right? Like because new fans bring so much to this world of anime. They bring like new interests and new hobbies and things which creators latch on and that helps us to expand the world of anime. I mean, like because of the fans, animes be getting larger, right? Like all the expos and exhibitions and anime conventions that are all around the world would be empty if you had to like have like these keys to anime, and so that would adversely affect your own anime experience. I mean, because anime, like being a fan of anything, it doesn't have to be anime, but can't just be like 5 people sitting in a room listening to an original record of like Miles Davis or something, right? Like it's like it has you want because then the art would die, right? Because no one else is listening to it, watching it, engaging in it. And so I don't know. I feel that like how Henry said that fandom is important and numbers of people who just love who appreciate it for whatever reason they appreciate it for, that's important because that those that brings just new I don't know, ideas and new ways to enjoy it. Like some of these new fans are going to start their whole new like Twitter blog or something, or some people are going to start a whole new fan club, and some of these fans, well, some people who did just join anime started conventions and things, so you don't know what new people to this space are going to bring. And you know although I don't think it's necessary to be a fan, but I do think that there's a little like perhaps it could just be getting I don't know what's the word I want to say, like discombobulated or something, like where it's like of course I think it would be great if people did watch some of the classics or listen to classics or enjoy some of the older videos of sports and things like that, because that just means that you're really diving in and getting into whatever it is that you like doing. And like if you only watch the most current anime, but then you don't watch any of the classics or any of the original things or Atom, or anything like that. Um, it's not a necessity, but it'd be great if you watched it, maybe at least a few things, like just so you can see where, what other types of content exists in this anime world. Like it's not only about like Attack on Titan or something like that. Not that Attack on Titan's bad, but like it's not only action, right? There's so much. There's so many different like anime. The medium of anime has so many different genres And so I don't know. I think that the most current things might have gotten you into anime, but then just kind of go out and talk to people at conventions and see what they like and see what these other people like, and then maybe watch those things as well.
I think that I think that probably most of the people ranting about this big surprise on Twitter are like kids. People get offended by that, no doubt. What are you calling me a kid? I'm 16. Okay, you're not a kid like a baby, but like
You're
it's
16,
just
you're a kid.
you haven't
16.
you haven't you still care about too many things too personally. I remember so here's an example that I thought of when you were talking. Nowadays it's a given that everyone knows superheroes and Marvel superheroes, right?
Yeah.
And so it's completely mainstream. You'd be very strange to not know what Captain America was, right? I remember in college, one of my friends was really into comics, and this was pre the whole comic boom, right? Like the only comic movies out were the old Supermans, Batmans, and then like maybe Blade, and then Daredevil was coming out. So we went to see Daredevil, right? Like, but the original Daredevil movie, right? And when we were sitting there waiting for the movie to start, I was like, how does it feel? It's like it's recognition of the thing that only you know. Like I didn't have comic book friends, but this guy had stacks of Daredevil comics. He knows all the villains and everything, right? And he was like, it's weird. Well, he had a mature response though. His response was good. It was like honest on both sides. He was like, it's genuinely good that now it's getting popular and it's going to make so much more money and be a more recognizable character. It won't be weird that I have the stack of comics. Like it'll even be cool that like, oh, I have rare ones that are hard to get now, right? He's like, but honestly, there also is a part of me that's like, it was my own private thing. Like, oh, people don't know about this. And now it's just going to be like, everyone in the whole world just knows it as a throwaway name. So it takes away a little bit of that undergroundness, like, oh, I know something special. But so I get that, if because I can see nowadays, now that anime is popular, like anime wasn't popular when we were growing up. So like if anyone knew anything about anime, it would be like, oh, you're one of those people too that also rented VHS from the store. But now like anyone is gonna know anime and watch anime. So I could see it frustrating for, again, a 16-year-old, especially. You're walking through the hall of your high school. You actually are a hardcore fan. You know all the stuff. And then some random popular kid is just like, yeah, I watched 3 episodes of Attack on Titan. I'm a big anime fan. And you're like, no, you're not. You don't know. Right? So I get that. But you're just, if there's anyone 30 that has that same attitude, then I'd be like, guy or gal, you gotta get it together. Because
there are that's interesting, because you brought up an interesting point, which I don't know if you meant to bring up that way, but it is interesting because there are levels to things though, right? But I don't know
for sure
if that applies to fandom.
To really quickly finish my point though, to really let me just finish this point just to get this out there, because it does need to be addressed. If you really are that hardcore fan though, walking down the hallway, honestly, just be comfortable knowing that you know the more information, I would say, right? Because there definitely are levels. That guy did only watch 3 episodes of Attack on Titan. He does not own animation cells like you do and watched all the interviews and knows the creator names of the different series, and this season was animated by that show and I can tell the difference because I recognize the animation director. Like if you are one of those people that can like recognize that stuff, honestly, like you just being that much of a fan and having that impressive library of information in your head, that must be reward enough, because at the end of the day it still is a really good thing that other guy did watch those 3 episodes and is now talking about how cool Attack on Titan is. So please do appreciate that when things go mainstream, it does help the creators and it does help to get the word out. But don't worry, nothing's being taken away from you as being the real hardcore fan, right? And it's true, it isn't, because you do know more information than everyone, and that is legitimately cool that you know so much stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's that's like having like a black belt in anime, I guess, right? Like you got like because there's like different. I mean, in all sports or anything, right? You have the different degrees of how much some, the person's, I don't know, technical ability. I guess within anime or something, it would just be how much you know about it, right? Or in fandom, it'd be about how much you know about a given topic or particular thing. But which is cool, right? Like, yeah, like so you have a whatever second degree black belt. This person's only a brown belt, and then you have the newbie who's like a white belt anime fan, right? So, but it doesn't make them any less of a fan, right? Because they can enjoy it just as much, and they practice just as much as you do, and they watch. They might, since they're new to it, they're going in, but the responsibility of the black belt fans, right? Like, it's like if you're a black belt in karate or whatever, if you have a whatever green and red sash and Muay Thai or whatever, like, or whatever like whatever martial art you're in, it's the responsibility of the upper degree artists to teach the lower degree people, not to ban them, right? Like, black belts don't say, hey, they don't gatekeep martial arts, because
you can't break the giant block of ice like
yeah,
I can. You're a
kick them out the
loser.
school.
You're not
You
supposed to
kick them
say
off the
that.
mat. Yeah, you don't kick them off the mat. You go and you teach them, right? You introduce them to new content, to content that they haven't seen. You like say, you know what, you should watch whatever, I don't know, Cowboy Bebop, or the original series of Cowboy Bebop, or whatever you feel is something that these fans should know. Then make a list of content that you feel everyone needs to have watched. I mean, and it's obviously, it's just, this is all arbitrary, but it's like, okay, hey guys, you want to be a brown belt? Watch these things, whatever. You want to be an orange belt? Watch these, black belts, watch this, whatever. I don't know, whatever you want, but just make, introduce things, like introduce new content to people, or content that exists to people, so that they can watch it.
And one
and
thing,
level up.
And one just final kind of snobby comment, but something that the youngins don't get yet, but you slowly do as you grow up. Like, someone's always going to beat you also, especially like if,
Yeah.
right? So like, if you're like if there's literally any like 16-year-old, 19-year-old, 22-year-old out there right now thinking like, man, I am just the biggest anime fan and I know all the underground stuff, I guarantee you got nothing on me. Like, you did not, because you literally didn't live long enough. I've watched like an anime episode or a few every day for 36 years, right? Like, so you just literally don't have the time to have watched all the OVAs and everything that I have, right? Plus, I worked in the industry. I've heard about,
manga.
I know about, I mean, obviously, like, lips are sealed. I'm not saying anything, but like, I have seen like storyboards for, or even full rendered videos of stuff that was literally never released, right? Because I'm in the industry.
Yeah.
So I know stuff that literally doesn't exist, literally,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Officially. So like, you can't,
Sure.
and then even beyond me, like if I was like, oh, now I'm the gatekeeper, I'm the best. No, I'm not, because I've been at parties with the real well, not that I'm not a real Japanese animator, but real Japanese people who've been in the industry for like since the 80s.
Yeah,
And they're
like
just like,
60-year-old animators and things.
yeah, and they're just like, oh, in 1981, or like there was the remake of that thing from 1976, and that person was the director, but man, they messed up on episode 2 because, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. This is ridiculous, right? So like, there's always going to be someone that just has a lifetime.
Yeah, there's always someone who has a level up on you, right? Like, you can never be the best at anything, right? Because there's always going to be someone better. So, you might have what you think is the gold key, and somebody else has a platinum key to the gate that you're keeping. I don't know. Or someone else got a skeleton key. What you gonna do? So, I don't know. So,
one last question. I think this one will go, or let's try to make it quicker. I'll say this though before the last question. There are other questions people ask, but guys, every question they ask is like, do you have advice for a newbie? Do you have advice on background painting? Do you have advice pitching a project to you guys? Guys, I forget what episode this is exactly, but it's episode like 40 something.
45,
We've done a ton of episodes. Go back and they're not long. Like if you podcast, listen to them for like one day, you'll listen to all of them, right? So a lot of those questions are topics that we've done. Like just reading the title, like pitching a project, like just reading the title, you could probably tell which episode talks about most of these questions. So please do go back into the previous ones.
I will say, let's keep this one on the gatekeeping because I do have one question I have a question for for our fans and people who are watching this. So, which is kind of, I guess it's a little bit, it has to do with gatekeeping, and then it doesn't. I guess it's a kind of a new topic, but I was reminded of it while we were talking about this, and so what I would like to know what our fans think about directors and things of Hollywood films, like live action films, who kind of take from anime, right, and then use it. Because I wonder if that would be gatekeeping to say, hey, you shouldn't be fighting off of these anime fans, right? Like, or not anime fans, but you shouldn't be taking from anime and putting it in, like, using shot for shot in live action films. It have nothing to do with anime. So I'm not talking about remakes of anime. It's not, and I'm talking about more like some people, they say, oh, well, this is just this is me paying homage to these creators. And then some people feel like, no, you're just literally stealing. Like, you're literally
posts about that in relation to Satoshi Kon stuff. People have said like a few.
Yeah, people stuff Satoshi Kon a lot, and I wonder, like, so what is that? There's what is that film with the dreams?
The two that pop up is Inception. That's the one you're probably talking about.
Yeah, Inception.
That seems to take a lot of ideas from Paprika, and then the other one was Black Swan that took a lot of ideas from Perfect Blue.
Yeah, from Perfect Blue. Yeah.
If you look at shot by shot comparisons, well, it's weird because I really like all these movies. Like
Black Swan's an amazing film, and so is Inception. Like, they're really
Inception,
good.
I love Inception. Like I would give it an A+. But I will say, when you look at the side by side shots, you're like, that's really being influenced.
Yeah, because Black Swan, and also what is that drug movie with A Requiem for a Dream?
Yeah.
They took some stuff from Perfect Blue as well, and it was interesting because I wonder, so is that kind of gatekeeping, just or I don't know, because like usually I guess the fans found it, right? Like the fans went and found these like similarities between the content. Like it because I guess it's one thing if the directors come out first and just be like, oh yeah, I really like this, so I this is how I came up with this idea, right? I was alluding to whatever
I think
Paprika,
and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I think that Christopher Nolan did mention Paprika influence in some interviews, but I think people and again, correct me if I'm wrong, I could totally be wrong, but I think Black Swan never did, and so I think the comments online reflected that, like there was a little bit of annoyance at Inception maybe, but there was a lot of annoyance at Black Swan because it's like, hey,
the Black Swan character,
which
was interesting because I wonder, so because I think that's pretty cool, like when people use content, and like everyone does it, right? Like, well, because like with your favorite director, I'm like so bad.
I already know you probably want to say Tarantino, right?
Tarantino.
I don't know if he'd be my favorite. Well, I really like him though. In any case, I like him.
You like him, yeah. Okay. So because Tarantino, but he often says, right, like which like Westerns he's using things from, or
he even names titles like the same identical title. So he's not.
So I feel like that's kind of the right way to go about it, where it's like, well, this is like what I was inspired by, and so I use these artists, in my film or something like that. Where, like, with some of the other things, I feel like it's a little bit more, under the table. But who knows? But so I wonder if that would be kind of considered gatekeeping or not, though, right? Like maybe people are allowed to just to be inspired by things and use shot for shot in films, But
comment below. We'll do more questions at a future date. There was only one question that I think was genuinely a new one, but we'll hold on to it, and then in the future, when we get a handful more, a future episode will also be Q&A. So we'll come around to that at some point again. For now, all good. This episode good, Arthel? You good with this?
Right, everyone.
All right, see you guys next time. Bye.